So in this video, we are going to learn how to draw silhouettes and shapes. And this is, mandatory if you want to start a new painting. And the video is going to be split in two parts. The first part is about practicing with copying shapes and silhouettes. The second part, we're going to start with a brand new, painting. I would say we go, pick a photo and we try to define every shape of the photo and every silhouette of the photo. Now, to practice a little bit in drawings, you can go and search for photos like this with, I don't know, small objects. Rocks and pebbles and stuff like that. It's like the perfect type of object to start with because is full of small differences and shapes and sharp edges and curves, corners. So this is really the best you can start with. And I pick one of these and I bring this into a new file so I can do whatever I want. So I can make a new layer, a black color. I'm going to pick my brush, the one I want to use to do like draw. It could be this one, or it could be the one that looks like pencil. And I zoom in a little bit. And now the first thing is to define the bounding box of the object. Okay, and you can define, the first time you can define the bounding object with some lines. Then maybe if you get a little bit of experience, you can do it mentally, like just like drawing some, I would say, small lines. So one thing is to say, okay, this is the drawing. Of course you cannot paint over this. This is not like an exercise of going over some lines. You need to just look at this and try to replicate it on this side. Okay, it doesn't work otherwise. Okay, so this is like what you need to do, what you need to understand. So let's say that this object starts like here. Okay, and then we have this like line here, and then we have this line here, and then it ends roughly here. Okay, so this is what you need to what you need to do at the beginning. You can continue these lines if you want. There's no problems. Okay, I feel I don't need to do it. I can be kind of aware of what I'm doing just with this small lines here. But anyway, it's up to you. Now, what you want to do here is let's say that you have the canvas. Okay, and the canvas is, I don't know, something like this. Okay, oops, sorry, this, and this. A good idea to understand where to stop or where to start painting, okay, is to look at the distance between the object and the end of the canvas. And so you see now, of course, I draw the canvas afterward, but it means when you have like your drawing, your painting, you create a canvas which is exactly the size of the canvas that you start from. And so you can say, okay, now this point here is this far away from the border. And so I can see, okay, this is the border. Probably I'm a little bit off. I'm a little bit like too much on the left. Okay, that's fine for now. But you see, you can define where an object is just by looking at the distances from the end of the canvas. And that's really important. That's really useful. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to go with a very rough shape. So for example, here you see there's like a triangle which is missing here. So this is like again, you can paint with, you know, no shift, or you can just use the shift, pick a point, pick another point. And, you know, if you have enough strength on the pen, you can see the line. Anyway, I don't really care about being too precise in here. Okay, it's really you need to feel like comfortable about what you're doing. But even if you fail at like drawing a perfect line, really it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. Now here we see we have something that goes down like this here. See, maybe a little bit more like this. And, you know, if you look at the navigator, navigator is a friend, okay? Navigator is your friend. If you make a mistake, you will immediately understand it from the navigator, okay? Because looking at the image on a smaller scale really helps a lot, okay? So then we have this line here, and then we know that we reach this point here with a line like this. And so you see, we need to do something like this, okay, roughly. And then at the bottom here, we have like a point here that reach this point, okay? So, I mean, if you feel like you can't do like a very straight line, I don't know, you can always like press the ring on the tablet and rotate, you see? And now I can do a better job, see? And then you go back on, you know, on normal. Oops, sorry. There's a little bit of lag sometimes. I mean, if the document is very big, I mean, it could happen. And now we have like this kind of, you know, dent here. So actually the line will end up there. And then we have, you know, we can start from here. We can have something like it goes like this, and then like it goes like this, and then it goes like this. Okay, roughly. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's some stuff to fix, but I mean, this is the starting point, okay? Once you have this starting point, if you feel like you can even draw some lines on the inside, even if, I mean, you don't have to be that accurate right now, and you don't need them I mean, for the purpose of this exercise. That's fine if you do that, but don't feel like you need to do that for, you know, every time. I mean, you don't have to work on, you know, this type of details, because we don't care about details right now, okay? There will be time about details. And now that we have roughly, okay, the shape we want, okay, so this will be something like this, okay? You see, now we can go further and improve our work. So we can, you know, I don't know, let's start from a point, okay? Let's start from like here, like the top, okay? So as you see here, now we have a line like this, and that's fine, okay? That's it, okay? That's this one. But then here we have, I mean, this is really rough, okay? In reality, here we have a line that goes roughly downward. You see, it goes a little bit on the, you know, down here, and then it goes up again. And so you try to do that, you know, detail, okay? That single, even if it's not perfect, you don't care, okay? And then what we have here, we have a little bit of a dent there, okay? Maybe this line is a little bit longer, okay? So you can go back, say, and something that helps is, you know, before starting drawing, you can say, okay, where this point is, you know, looking at this line, it's like, it's not in the middle, because middle is here. It's a little bit on the left. So if this is the middle, it's going to be a little bit on the left. So it's going to be here, okay? And now you can do a better job drawing that line. And then we have this kind of dent. It's a little bit like this, and then it goes down, see? And then we have this kind of, you know, curves going down and then up. So here we have like a little bit of a dent even there. And then we have, you know, something that goes like this, okay? And if you look this, you see this point here is higher than this point, so we've done it right. And then this line here goes higher than this dent. And so, you know, we need to look at these tiny things if we want to draw, you know, the line perfectly. Now, this is the, you know, another step. It's not the last step, it's like one step, okay? And here we have, you see, we have a little bit of you know, details. And then here we have, for sure, we have some curves, you see? So you can draw here some curves. And it's okay if you want to press a little bit more with the pen, so you get, you know, even thicker line. And you can even, I mean, if you have a thicker line, you can understand which one is the new one, actually, and that's cool. And you know, if you have to do something like this, okay, which is full of details, you see, don't try to draw them in the same order, I would say. Don't start from here and like do this and then. See, this is not going to work. You need to split the job in, split the, you know the work in two parts, I would say. So like the first part is from here to here, okay? So this point is roughly like here, okay? And now you can say, okay, now let's split it again in two. So here we have another point, and so these 2 points are like, you know, this one is here, this one is a little bit like on the inside. And so you have like, you know, this stuff, right? Maybe a little bit more like this, right? And then you have another one on the top here, see? And that's a lot better, because if you split a big problem into small problems, it will be easier to understand what to do, okay? Like in this one, we have like here, and there's more like dent on the inside, you know? So you can take the eraser tool. This is the only time I allow you to work with the eraser tool. Otherwise is kind of forbidden, okay? And so this is the way, right? If you try to do everything in one shot, I don't know if you can succeed on that, because it becomes too difficult, okay? And anyway, this is not even the last time you will draw the shape, okay? If you want to do a really good job, you can, you know, make another layer, you know, at the top when you're over with the whole thing. And so you can just, you know, put this layer like 50% opacity, right? Or wherever you want, whenever you feel like you need. And then you can go here, you can zoom in. This is the right time to zoom in. You can even work with the lower res, and then at this moment, make a higher res image. You know, you need to go like image size, and you go up with the res, because now you need details, okay? And so you can like going up with the smoothing, if you have smoothing in your Photoshop, which means that your lines will be basically you know, kind of, you know, smoother, because there is like an elastic that between the tip of the pen and the actual stroke, you see. So it's easier to make smooth lines. And I mean, this is up to you. I don't like to have this, you know, too high, you know. I mean, it's okay for me to go like this, you see, and then you can, you know, do a better job. Maybe sometimes you can even add some details, I mean, because you want, okay? I mean, one thing is to go and copy the image. Another thing is to, you know, add some details because you want them. I mean, nobody stops you to do that. I mean, it's fine. It's like painting with your own brush, with your own style. You can feel, if you feel it can do it, you know, do it. And you know, this is really important, because it will add a little bit of your, you know, of yourself in the painting. And this is the first step, and now I will continue to do this. And at the end of this small, quick video, we are going to start with the actual painting. So if you want to go, fast forward, please do it, and then we will start. So let's see another example with this toolbox, just to have a few different references. Now this is a little bit more complicated, even if it doesn't look like. And the reason is every object with art edges and perfect curves, this is more complicated to draw, and you want to help yourself with all the tools you can have, of course. Forget about when I told you about to draw only like manually. I don't really care. You don't really care. I mean, this is digital painting. You can do whatever you want. So you can even help yourself with like line tool if you feel that you want to do that. And but if you do that, is going to be easier, but not as much as helpful to understand and to learn how to paint and how to draw manually. So I would anyway do the exercise without using lines, just for just to begin with the right feet and to learn a lot more. So let's start with this, and you see how I draw the same canvas around the toolbox and here. So I know that the toolbox is like starting like here, okay, and then here on the other side is somewhere like here, and then here is kind of like here, this point, okay. So then we can connect these two things with a shift, see, and then here we have this annoying curve, and we don't really care about that for now. I just go with this point here, and then this is like a little bit closer to the edge of the canvas, something like here. And then we have this, okay, this line will connect the two, but first we want to create this line. So I will like do something like a small curve in here. Of course, this is complicated, but you don't have to be perfect now, okay? And then here we have this line, and then we have this. And then from here we can go up in order to like get the same height in perspective. And then we have the same type of curve. And then from here we go here. I'm pressing shift and then just pressing on the 2 points to get these lines. And then we have a little bit of a curve here, a little bit of a curve here. See, I mean, if you don't get the curve you want the first time, just Ctrl Z and do it again, okay? It's better to make the right curve right now. It will help afterward, because you don't have to solve a problem, you don't have to fix a mistake. If you do something cool, if you do something perfect right now, you don't have to deal with that stuff later on. So it's it's a smart choice, it's a smart decision to do, like if you do it right now. So we have this like thing here. We can see a little bit of the thickness here on this. So I'll like show it right now. Should be something like here. Cool. And then we have these lines that start something like here and get this point. Very cool. And then we have this line here that goes to this point here. Cool. And then this is a circle, a semicircle, and then this point here. And then here we go on the back. Even this line here has some thickness. If you don't want to have this kind of problem, just take away the thickness and it will go for a very thicker line. But I don't want to increase too much the thickness, so I'll go for like 6 pixels, and that's it. And we can go here, this point here, and then we go down here. Oops. Down here, and then I can see here there's a line that goes from here to here, and then we have this divisions. You see one division ends exactly where the other one start, roughly. So one like here, and then this one is a little bit more on the right. Look at the distance between object and it will be a lot easier to understand if you're doing right or wrong. Okay, plus or minus, we are there. And now you should put this again into, if you feel like you have to increase the amount of details, you can put this on a opacity layer, on a transparent layer, and then go with a new one and paint over. I mean, for this kind of object, I would say that this is enough. Okay, this is more than enough, because then we are going to paint a single value on top of the entire object. So we don't really care about getting more details than what we have right now. And so this is another example. In case you have to draw something like this, which is very complicated because the shape is perfect and is repetitive and is going in a circle, what to do in this case? Well, you can draw one of these objects and then repeat it in a circle. Let me explain. Let me show you. So I pick up, a brush, a new layer, empty layer, and I try to draw one of these, tooth of this chainsaw, of this saw blade, and this is the base, I would say, right? And we go like this, and then we go a little bit up like this, and then we have the tooth here going like this a little bit, and then we go back down, and of course we have a little bit of a circle. So I mean, this will of course end with a circle and continue and come back and start back with the circle, with the same circle. Now if you want, you can improve this. I will erase lines I don't really care about. Okay, so this is, let's say that this is the starting point. Okay, then what you want to do is this. You want to you can make it smaller as you wish. Okay, don't exaggerate, or the thickness of the line will basically disappear. And then you can do another layer on top, and you go here in shapes, and you select this one, the polygonal tool, and then in the options you check star, and you go with the indent side by 99%, which means that the star, central, the center of the star will be at the center of the shape. And then the thickness is, the thickness of if you have the path and not pixel shape, I keep pixel is fine. And then the number of sides of the star should be exactly the number of tooth you have in the saw blade. Now, I put 18, I don't care. I mean, it's the same, I would say, workflow. Doesn't really matter the number of, tooth right now. So I click on like this point here and I drag and drop. I can drag, see? And I just keep the drawing I've done in the center, okay, something like that. And now I can just go back on my starting drawing and I can place this wherever I want. Okay, I can put it there, I can put it closer, but I have to scale it down, of course, so I will put it here, and that's fine. And now I will not touch the star anymore, and I will just duplicate with Ctrl J my starting drawing, and then I press Ctrl T. And as you can see now, it's really difficult to say, okay, I want these to rotate, around this point. I can press Alt, click, and Alt on the keyboard, and at the same time, left mouse button here. And you see, we basically have now the pivot of the rotation in this point, okay? And you can, you can't be that accurate, but that's fine. And you can pull this, you see, with the rotate tool, and that's it. Now, of course, this is not perfect, okay? You have to refine a little bit the shape. You can do it right now if you want, okay? You can say, okay, the second drawing will start there. And so the first, the first one will be, should be like a little bit like, let me see. A bit like this, okay? This is a lot better. And so you can do, you can do the same. You can do this again, and I will delete this. Ctrl T again, Alt click. This stuff reset every time, okay? So you need to do this every time, okay? Sorry, you need to make a copy. Ctrl J, Ctrl T, Alt click here, and then rotate. And as you can see, it's a lot better. Okay, cool. And now I select them all, Ctrl J, Ctrl T, and again, Alt click in the center, then rotate, you see, and I have 4 of them now. And again, select them all together, Ctrl J, Ctrl T, Alt click in the center, rotate. And once you have a few of this, you can even think about merging all together. So you can just press Ctrl Alt E, and so the new copy now is a copy of these 4. Alt click, rotate, Ctrl T, Alt click, rotate. And I'm missing only one of these, so I'm going back on the original one, make a copy of the original one. Alt click, and then like this. And as you can see, plus or minus, we have something. And now we can select them all. We can press Ctrl E to merge them all together if you want. And now you can do whatever you want. You can scale them down. See, you can I don't know, Ctrl J to have a copy, to have some sort of thickness. Of course, you have to, delete some part of it. You can select them all again, Ctrl T, put in perspective a little bit, squish them a little bit like this. And you have your drawing. In case you have perfect circles, and you don't want to go by hand, which is, understandable. Just, select the brush and a new layer, just try the brush because you need to, check the thickness. Okay. You can then add some, options like, I don't know, thickness on pressure, opacity on pressure. It's up to you. I mean, this is about the style you want to use. Okay. I will keep it this like this. Okay. Um, and then you can just go with elliptical marquee tool. Okay. And you can try to copy, you see the shape you have there. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect, doesn't matter if it's not rotated in the right way, it doesn't matter if this one is a little bit distorted, because of the perspective, and this one is not. Who cares? So you go in a new layer, and with this selection on, you go to path, and you click on new, and you click on this button here to create the new path. Okay, so now we have, you see, we have a new work path, and if you click on that, you see this is like drawing a line with the Bezier tool. Now, why we did that? Because now if we right click in here and we click on stroke path, then we have this pop-up coming up, and you can choose the brush you have right now. If you want, you can also simulate the pressure if you have something that works with pressure. I don't have right now anything. So I press OK, and as you can see, boom, we have a perfect line. Now you can deselect, you can deselect the path if you want. See? So now you see, I can just modify. I can also warp. See? So, I mean, it's a lot easier to do like this. And then if you want to do, this one, you can duplicate this, like make it smaller, squish a little bit. And you have the two lines you want to, connect. So I don't want this part anymore. And I can do this, okay? And if you want, I mean, if you don't feel like you want to, paint this line manually, you can use the Bezier tool to create the perfect path. And then again, same method, paths, right click, stroke path, and you will get exactly, the shape you are looking for.